We're here in the busy port of Fenit today. It's very busy at the moment, exporting liebherr container cranes all over the world. I remember when I started here in 1969, they were just about starting to send the first ship-to-shore container cranes out here. Their original cargoes back in 1959 would have been tower cranes. They were building tower cranes that time for Ireland and England, and later they went worldwide. They were building some of the biggest tower cranes in the world at the time. There was no shipping out of Fenit about after April 1944 during the war, and at some time later they decided it might be a good time to actually replace the wooden viaduct and improve the main pier berthage. The building of the new pier started in 1950, and a good number of the dockers were employed in the construction works. The pier reopened in September of 1955. The first ship to dock was the Fenit R.N.L.I that brought a cargo of timber from Vasa in Finland. In 55 there was probably about 8 ships, and there was approximately 40 to 50 ships in 1956. As you can see, the timber that time, there was a lot of men employed because a lot of it was handled by hand and had to be up onto the quay wall and then stored in the wagons which took it to Tralee. At this time, many people will remember the Limerick Steamship Company ships. They were calling regularly to Fenit and Limerick, coming from Liverpool and Rotterdam and Antwerp. Bringing general cargo and cargoes of coal, cement, maize and slag. People remember the names of the Lanarone, the Mulcair, the Shannon, the Ormore and the R.N.L.I. I suppose another landmark ship would have been a ship called the Leprechaun that took the first ship-to-shore cranes from liebherr in Killarney to England. I think that was 1968. If we step back a little bit, of course, in 1966 we had a very notable visitor to Fenit Port when Bell Verity arrived in his little yacht, the Nono Alka. It just happened to be on the pier at the time. He came into the south steps. Because of the size of the ships nowadays, especially coming for 2 large cranes coming from liebherr in Killarney, they'll probably need 1 or 2 tugs to get them in.
Yeah, so we're just heading out now towards just out past the lighthouse here in Fenit to meet the ship coming in. It's a nice day for today, and so after coming around from Bear Island where we're based. So our company is Atlantic Towage and Marine. We brought all the ships here in Fenit. Sometimes then if we're too busy, we hire in some other tugs from the Shannon, some other smaller tugs from the Shannon to come down if we're too busy. We do a lot of ships in we do a lot of ships in Bantry Bay as well, the oil terminal.
This is a very important time now because if anything goes wrong here, there's major trouble. We have a rope onto the ship here now and we have to be very careful for the next few minutes. There's a lot of money involved here, expensive equipment and stuff on board boats, and this is why we have to be very careful. There's dangers around the corner at all times and you can never be careful enough when there's danger involved.
It's a big difference long ago when the ship was small enough to come in by itself. So the skill of the pilots and the tug masters really comes into play at times getting these big ships into Fenit Port.
We oversee the whole operation between the customer liebherr and the local dockers and Patrick King. We go between the port captain, that's the ship's representative that's on the quay, and we just get everything in place to make the whole operation run as smooth as possible. So when Burke Shipping took over in 2006, there were between 6 and 8 shipments per year out of Fenit. But the increased size of the container ships from the mid-2000s on meant that the port infrastructure had to be improved to handle these bigger ships. So since then there's bigger and bigger cranes going out of Fenit.
Liebherr Ireland Limited was established in 1958 in Killarney. It was the first Liebherr company set up outside of Germany. Initially, the first products manufactured here were tower cranes, and they were some of the largest tower cranes in the world. Since 1972, we here in Liebherr Container Cranes has grown as a company, and we were very proud of the fact that Fenit Port has grown with us. In 1972, we had 2 ships out of Fenit, and you fast forward to 2010, where we had 9 ships. In 2015, we had 21 ships in Fenit, and this year we hope to have something similar. In port size terms, Fenit is a relatively small port, and we ship some of the largest products in Europe out of Fenit. The quality of our product is not just down to the people and staff of Liebherr Container Cranes, it is also down to the professionalism of the dockers and how they handle the product in Fenit. Here in Killarney, the process begins for the manufacture of our container cranes in our cutting hall, where the steel is delivered on trailers and taken off and stored until it is required to be cut. And then from here, the various sections are delivered to different areas of the factory for joining together and completion of various sections of our container cranes, such as legs, beams, booms, trolleys, carriers and end carriages. We would have 50 loads a week between Killarney and Fenit, varying in size from the very large beams and booms to a small standard trailer. We endeavour to move our larger parts early in the morning to avoid any disruption to the local public here in Killarney, Tralee and Fenit.
The ship that's been loaded here today, the Constellation, is taking 2 large ship-to-shore cranes to New Jersey in the USA. As you can see, there's such a varied range of parts here, from small parts and awkward parts and the large ones. There's a lot of skill involved in slinging and handling these parts and get them into the ship. It takes a good few hours to actually do these pieces in particular, because they have to be slung at a certain distance and the cranes have to be set up. And it takes a good while to actually get them on board the ship and get them stowed and lashed properly.
I'm the third Tensley generation now to be working here on the harbour. My father and grandfather worked in the pier all their life. My grandfather and my father, they worked in the dredger that used, the name of the dredger was the Sandfire. She used to dredge the harbour years and years. And the crew on that dredger at that time were, with my father, was Dan Crowley, Jim Quirk, Petty Joe Welsh, Timmy Sheehan and Joe Murphy. And the captain of her was Joe Lydon, but he was from Tralee.
Yeah, I started working here about 40 years ago as a docker. We had a lot of different types of cargo at that stage. We had coal boats, timber boats, lock ships, oil ships. Now we're down to one cargo with liebherr, and they're a great company, giving great employment here, and they're quite busy at the moment, and we'll hopefully for the foreseeable future we'll be remaining busy.
As in every job, of course, you have to have a boss, and our boss, or our foreman as we would call him, is Patrick King. Patrick, of course, has over 6 years of experience. So down through the years, he's been able to pass this on to us. His experience on handling Liebherr cranes for that length of times is invaluable. And he's been able to pass on that knowledge to us so that we can work here safely, especially, and we can all enjoy our work here.
I started here in 1955, which is 60 years ago, isn't it, I think? and my father was here before me, and my grandfather before that, back to the 1800s, 1880s. But it has been handed down from father to son with the last 100 years or more. It's a responsible job because you have to plan for the cargo coming in and place it on the pier and have it in such a way that you can pick it out for loading. And it's a dangerous cargo along that. What this you have to keep your eyes open anyway, and you have to watch out for the proper slings and shackles and keep watch the forklifts when they're in use.
When my father retired in 2001 from the docks, I took his place and I've been working here since. I'm very happy to be working here. There's great friendship amongst all the guys that work here in the docks, and it's fantastic employment. And in the last 4 to 5 years we've become extremely busy as time has gone on. Liebherrs are putting out more and more cranes, and as a result we're working more and more here in the ships, which is fantastic for the local people here. It's fantastic for the pier.
My father Vincent was here for over 50 years, and when he retired I took over his position on the job. And my father was banksman over the hatches for over 50 years, and I got his job, so I'm the banksman over the hatch as well on the pier. And my uncle Albert was here as well. He was here for 55 or 56 years, I think.
Yeah, I must be working here 15 years plus, I'd say. I took over from my uncle Morgan. My first boat was actually a logboat, timber logboat, and then we took on and we did cranes, and I done a few of the wind farms, the blade boats. It is very interesting work. It can be very dangerous work too, but it's great for the locality, and employment is we do well here. Like, you know, as in the employment, there's a lot of men here.
I attend during the cargo loading operations, basically to ensure that the cargo is loaded in a correct and a safe manner, that it's positioned as planned, and that it is secured to international standards, so that there is no movement or damage to the cargo during transit to the port of destination.
In a busy port like Fenit is, and when some of our dockers retire and finish up, of course we have young guys coming on, and it's very important that they come on and learn their skills from all the dockers that have been there for a long time.
When I first started off here anyway, it was all new to me and I found it kind of awkward at the start, but sure, the more experienced dockers kind of showed me the ropes. I wasn't long picking it up, and now I'm flying at the job, I'm loving it. Can't complain. I'm working now blowing the ship in the hold. I spend a bit of the time up on the wall, but majority of the time down blowing the ship.
I'm a newcomer down in Fenit Pier. Been down here last year, almost 2 years. I'm enjoying it. It's a good place, good lads, good atmosphere. It's a good sense of community down here, and it's really unique in a sense because we all know each other. We know each other all our lives, really, like neighbours, friends, family. It's just a great place to work.
I've been working down here for between 6 to 8 years. I'm here as a docker. I work on the forklift and multitask really. I do everything what anyone else asks me. It gets a bit dangerous at times down here, but here we all stick together as a team and we all watch each other's backs and the whole shebang. But no, it's actually very interesting work down here.
When the likes of this ship, the Constellation, leaves with a cargo here to go across the Atlantic to New Jersey, it can be a long journey. It will be a minimum of 2 weeks anyway, depending on weather. When she gets into the port of New Jersey and unloads onto the quayside where these cranes are being set up. So here today in 2016, 56 years after Liebherr actually exported their first cranes out through Fenit Port, We're hopeful that the future is looking good for liebherr container cranes in Killarney and Fenit Port.